We start tonight with breaking news in North Columbus. One woman rushed to the hospital after being shot. At this hour, police questioning two possible suspects in this case. All of this going down at a small apartment complex. Jeff Reddick live for us there tonight. And Jeff, there is a bit of good news to report out of all of this tonight. The win behind a big game from not only Hill, but of course quarterback Dwayne Haskins as well. Now OSU fans celebrating tonight as a part of a big sports weekend. We'll talk about a big off the field win in just a couple of minutes. But first, Clay Hall leading us off the show to talk about that huge OSU win. And Clay, what are your big takeaways from today's win?
Well, it wasn't pretty.
I'll tell you what, I was kind of jealous of some of those marathon runners this morning because I wanted to sign up and didn't. And then when I went downtown and kind of checked them out, I changed my mind. It was freezing this morning.
Yeah, it was cold.
That's what she says anyway, but it's a bit too late for that. Tonight, the BBB is warning possible customers to stay away, and the state attorney general's office calling this business a scam and that owner a crook. Despite the loss, we're going to try to keep the energy up. You know, obviously a lot of folks out there are upset about this one. We are too, but we're going to break this down. It was pretty rough from start to finish. Just thoughts off the bat. And we do start tonight with a story that you will only see right here. A young woman thankful to be alive, all of it after she was shot at simply driving down the road. Jeff Reddick live tonight in London with an up-close look at that car. And Jeff, this was a pretty close call for that young lady. Senate showdown in Cleveland. Sherrod Brown and Jim Renacci one-on-one in a major debate. Ben Garbrick in Cleveland for us tonight with more on what both men are saying to get your vote. Coming up, Ben takes us inside the stadium for an inside look at Ohio Stadium, plus the special treat for fans right before the game. Military Appreciation Week. Horrible discovery. Upper Arlington police confirming a body was found on fire in the woods of a local park. And for the first time, we're hearing the exact moment that discovery was made. Jeff Reddick live tonight with that 911 call that turned tragic. Jeff, family of a man accused of murder is speaking with only ABC 6 tonight, and they say if he did it, they want to see their loved one in prison for life. That suspect is set to be arraigned Monday morning. All of this developing in the Hilltop tonight, where the two bodies were found locked inside of a van. Well, Ben, I tell you what, this can only be described as the calm before the storm. Things are pretty laid back right now. Just a lot of media members here. We're pretty much shoulder to shoulder here. But the Republican Party, a lot of folks are pretty excited about Mike DeWine's chances tonight. In fact, he spoke with the media just about 30 minutes ago. Well, she certainly is, guys. And that warning, make sure to do your research and make sure that contractor does quality work before handing over any cash. Now, in her case, she tells us the work was so bad that she was forced to tear it all down and start from scratch, losing thousands of dollars in the process.
I bought this land last fall, and it is the start of something I've always dreamed of.
Unfortunately for Kelly Ashbrook, that dream on hold.
I cried for 3 days. I'm sorry. This is my dream house, and for my daughter and my grandson, and worked so hard for this.
Problem started this past July when she hired a contractor to handle the framing work.
He seemed to be legit, 17 years of experience.
It should have been a quick job on the 3-bedroom ranch home.
I kept trying to get finishing dates.
Eventually, she fired the company.
I interviewed 5 different framers and builders. They came out, looked at the house, and that's when they all told me it needed to come down.
Turns out the frame wasn't safe. These pics pointing out some of the issues, including an uneven frame.
I've never seen anything this bad.
Alvin Hindle with Rhino Builders brought in to fix things.
One problem after another after another.
We reached out to the owner of T-Ice Carpentry Works, the listed business address, a Gahanna subdivision. We were told at the office he wasn't there. Yes, trying to reach Todd Easel, please. We did reach him by phone. He didn't want to speak about the issues on camera, but blamed the problems on bad concrete work at the base of the home, along with the blueprint layout, as well as weather conditions.
So we need them 10-footers out here.
Hindle doesn't buy that excuse.
They just kept on going, and it just was one bad mess on top of another.
Consider these tips when getting work done on your home. Research and gather as much information about contractors as possible. Get references, arrange a payment schedule, and never pay up front. And get a legal contract for those services.
I've lost anywhere from $60,000 to $70,000 because of this work that he's done.
I need 4 of these at 9 foot.
Ashbrook isn't sure how she'll finish the construction at this point, planning to reach out to the bank for additional funding.
I have no idea where I'm going to get the extra money.
Now, Ashbrook tells me that the original contractor cut off all communication with her. She's now working with an attorney as she tries to get back some of her money. She's also filed complaints with the Attorney General's office as well as the BBB. Well, I tell you what, guys, it certainly appears so. Now, this all started when she came to us, hopefully to get a few answers in her case, telling us that her license was suspended for not paying child support. Now, the big issue in all of this, of course, she doesn't have any kids.
Nakia Jones.
We were there this morning as Nakia Jones waited for her day in court. Her concern and frustration clear.
The time that I put in, the money to get to court, the days I took off.
Her issue started back in July. A traffic ticket for a seatbelt violation turned into much more when she discovered her license was suspended, a violation for not paying child support. Thing is, she doesn't have kids.
Please just let me speak to you, because I'm ready to get this taken care of.
Her emotions overflowing, pleading her case in court, telling the judge no one in the court system was willing to help.
All I've been getting is rude and nasty remarks.
The BMV saying it's the court. That is, until the Six on Your Side investigators started looking into the problem just last week.
It took for ABC 6 for me to call ABC 6 and get them involved, for me to even find out that these cases were even going on. It took for me to call them to even get a response from anyone.
After we did a bit of digging at the Franklin County Municipal Courthouse, now some movement in the case.
If you could please look into my situation and look to where I can take care of this so I can restart my life.
Court administrators finally trying to help Jones sort things out. Turns out Jones does have prior outstanding traffic violations that led to an avalanche of paperwork confusion and a warrant for her arrest.
And this is my next court date.
So here's the deal. Jones now has to pay a few fines and court costs, and she can get her driver's license ASAP.
All the charges are dropped. Any charges, past charges I had, any past fines, all of that will be dropped.
She tells us it's like a massive weight has been taken off her back.
It's a big relief.
Now her life can get back on track.
I hope so. I'm not sure. I hope so.
Now, she does have one more court date set for the 15th of this month. She tells us if she comes to court with that driver's license and proof that she paid those fines, she'll finally be clear. And tonight she's sending out a major warning about the problems with that vehicle. We're going straight to the company for answers and also discovering this is not the first time that something like this has happened.
I could have lost my husband, my kids, anything. I mean, and nobody's being held responsible, where nobody's voicing anything to protect any of these other people.
Barb Myers is concerned, and for good reason. Her SUV up in flames with no warning.
I didn't even make my first payment on it yet.
When she bought the 2012 Kia Sorento this past July, she was told about a vehicle recall, an issue with the engine that could possibly lead to it stalling out, but nothing like this. This grainy video, Myers says, taken just moments after the SUV broke down with her mother behind the wheel.
She said while she was driving, she heard a loud noise, the oil light came on, and the engine stalled, and smoke started coming out. And she got out, and then a gentleman stopped and said, "You need to call 911 because your car is burst into flames."
Turns out this isn't the first time a scene like this has played out.
Get over!
A similar incident in Florida caught on video, making national headlines.
Get over!
A woman driving down the interstate, unaware the vehicle was on fire. Thankfully able to make it out before the Kia Sorento totally went up. A quick web search highlighting other vehicles that appeared to burst into flames with no warning.
He is not saying anything about this, so all these innocent people that own all these cars are suffering.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration lists more than 160 complaints on the 2012 Kia Sorento dealing with engine problems. This past June, the consumer watchdog group Center for Auto Safety filed a formal petition with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration pushing for an investigation into numerous complaints of spontaneous fires involving the Sorento along with other Kia vehicles unrelated to crashes. We contacted Kia about the concerns over the Sorrento vehicle. They sent us a statement that reads in part, if it is determined that a fire is the result of a manufacturing-related issue, Kia Motors America will work with customers to address any costs or expenses. Also saying they encourage customers to remedy any open recall as quickly as possible. However, they did not address worries over the fires and so far have not issued a recall over this. Myers, for one, can't understand why these vehicles are on the streets. Do you think that Kia should, until they figure out what this issue is, take these cars off the road,
Yes.
you think?
Yes.
Now, it is always important to know the safety status of the vehicle that you and your family drive. It's pretty easy to find out if your car is under a recall. You can find a link on exactly how to do that on our website. That's ABC6 on your side.